Have you ever considered how you influence people in your life? That's what we're getting into in today's episode. Join me. Hi everybody, I'm Michelle Carre and welcome to Your Delicious Life, where each week we take a look at life from a different perspective and we either learn something new or get reminded of something that we already knew. The title for this week's episode is You Never Know Who You Are Influencing. We influence people every day, whether it's through our actions, through our words, or through our social media posts. And we can influence people in small ways and huge ways. And today's episode is about reminding you that people see you, and they hear you, and they watch you. So let's dig into it. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been reminded personally of how I can have influence and impact other people's lives. Now, with these videos, I make them, but I'm never sure if anyone will watch them. I mean, I know my mom does and my grandma does. Thank you. Appreciate it. But does anyone else? And maybe they like it or they share it or there's hearts or whatever. But does it really connect with people? Does it resonate with anyone? And when I run into people and they tell me, hey, I watched your video and I really liked it, or I really appreciated the message the other day, that is really meaningful to me. That's way more meaningful than any like or share because it connected with that person and it had impact on their life. And when I can do that through these videos, it really makes a difference. And it reminds me that we do have the ability to touch other people's lives through our own life, whether it's from our experience and sharing it, or whether it's just someone watching us do something or seeing us do something. All of these things can have great impact on the lives of other people. As I receive this feedback, I'm reminded that we all make a big difference in other people's lives. And we never know who we are influencing. You know, sometimes I get feedback from men, sometimes it's women, sometimes they're similar age, sometimes they're older or younger. And it's never someone that I would necessarily expect to share that feedback with me. For example, just this past weekend, a friend of mine told me that he'd been watching the videos and appreciated them. And this is someone I've known for a number of years, but he's a guy, his whole work and business and passion in life is around cars and camping and hunting. And if you know me, I don't do any of the above. I barely know what kind of car I drive. I like to eat the meat, but I don't really hunt for it. So I always love chatting with him because I learned something that I know nothing about. But it was interesting to me that these videos were making a difference for him. And sometimes I'm thinking of another woman who kind of stopped me the one day and said, hey, by the way, I really enjoy those videos. And it really touched my heart because I didn't know she watched. I didn't know that she cared, but she did, and they were making a difference. And there are a lot of times when we don't know who we're impacting, but we are. So maybe you don't do a video every week. Maybe that's not your thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you still post on social media. You still show up to things in your life, whether it's with a group of friends or with your kids or coaching a team or with your employees. We are still active in this world and people are paying attention. So you have influence over them. And we can make such a meaningful impact on someone else's life when we become aware that what we do and say makes a difference. So what are some real life examples of us having influence? Well, take for example, your kids. You know, maybe you get a call from a telemarketer or something like that you don't want to take, or your internet's going down, the TV's not recording, some frustrating thing. And if you handle that moment with grace and you don't let it overtake you and you're like, oh, well, these things happen and we'll just troubleshoot this together, they see that, and you have influence over how they would respond in a difficult situation. Now, let me give you a work example. Let's say you have a teammate or an employee who's maybe not doing the things that they need to or the way you need them to. Well, if you treat that person with dignity and respect and explain to them what you need, what you do is you show those other employees that they too will be treated with dignity and respect, but you also teach them that that is how we treat each other in this team, in this workplace. So we can have tremendous influence over people just with the words that we choose and the actions that we take. And if we come through life and we are joyful and happy, that has influence on people as well. So when you look at your kids and they're smiling and they're excited and they're happy, that's because of you. You've brought that joy into their lives. And if you are someone who can smile at the barista making the coffee, or, say thank you and smile to a person who holds a door open for you, what that does is it brings joy to them as well. And that joy can get passed along and carried through. So don't underestimate the words that you use or the actions that you take or the smiles you give, because each one of those things, whether great or small, can have incredible impact on another person's life. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next week for the next episode of Your Delicious Life. Real quick, before I go, I just want to remind you guys about the workshop I have coming up on February 16th. It's called Detox Your Business and Ignite Your Life. And it's with me and 2 other speakers that are awesome. Tyler Hoffman is going to be talking about LinkedIn and how to create a great online presence and help to bring new prospects into your world. And Paula Hopewood is going to talk about what's kind of getting in your way of really living your dreams and getting rid of that clutter, if you will. So it's going to be a pretty awesome workshop. It's going to run the full day on Friday, February the 16th. So 3 speakers will break for lunch, have different breaks in between, and we're even going to do a Q&A at the end of the day. So I'm going to put the link below on my blog at michellecarre.com, so you can go in and buy your tickets. They're $35 each. Awesome price for incredible content. Love to see you there.
Hello.
See, you never know who you have influence over.